The Missouri Department of Conservation trapped 2 bears in Oregon County just over the Shannon County line on Monday evening as part of a project that looks to chronicle the bears in the state and their range and habitat. Ozark Radio News talked with Jeff Beringer, resource scientist with the MDC, who told us about the bear project.
We're trying to learn. We're starting from scratch on bears in the state. We don't know how many we have. We really don't know where they are. So we're trying to learn that. We want to learn what their reproductive status is. How many males do we have? How many females? How often are females having cubs? And when they have cubs, how many do they have? All these are kind of pieces of a puzzle to figure out what the population growth might be, just like we do with humans. You get a population estimate of humans, and then you know how many females, how many males are they in reproductive age. That gives us an idea of how fast this population might grow. A real important part of this study too is a hair snare effort, which is a fancy way of determining the population using genetics, where we're putting hair snares in the woods, which is just barbed wire at 20 inches around some trees. A bear comes through, leaves some hair on that barbed wire. We look at that barbed wire, we look at that hair, we run DNA analysis, and we know the sex of that animal, and we know it as an individual. As we do this throughout the state, we'll get an idea of how many bears we have. We started trapping last fall. We're going to do winter dens to look at reproductive rates from the females. We want to learn when they go to their dens, when do they leave their dens. We'll trap again next year, and then probably the third year we'll write up our results.
The bears, which ended up weighing 270 pounds and 150 pounds, were tagged on their ears and fitted with magnetic GPS collars so their movement can be tracked. Beringer told us more about the 2 bears.
These are both males. The older bear is probably 3 or 4, so he's probably has an established home range. He may have a range of 30 to 40 square miles. There's probably 3 to 4 females in that range. He competes with other males for the right to breed. This younger male here is 1.5 years, and he probably just was kicked out of his maternal range. You know, mom keeps him for 18 months and then they leave during the breeding season, so he's off. And he has to find his own place to live where there are not other males that are going to run him out. So he may move 200 miles and set up a range someplace else. This is how bears they don't have inbreeding because of that, the fact that the males leave and go a long ways.
Some bears found elsewhere in the state of Missouri surprised the MDC, as Beringer told us that they were not related to types of bears that were brought to Arkansas.
There is a population of bears in Webster County, and their DNA does not match with the Arkansas bears. And we also got some DNA from bears from Minnesota and Manitoba, because that's where those bears came from originally that were released in Arkansas. It doesn't match with them either, so something's going on there. One possibility is that those bears were here all along, and we just had a few bears that survived, and so they're original Missouri bears. We can't say that with all the confidence in the world right now, but that's where the science is pointing.
The collars are designed to stay on for 18 months. Beringer said that the MDC would like to refit the bears with a collar for another year afterwards and continue to track their movements. Ed Button, Ozark Radio News.